Hello everyone and welcome to my channel, and today I'll be reading a multi-character listener by me, so let's get into it. Kazuha. Kazuha is extremely protective of you, and that's only because he loves you so much. Otherwise, he wouldn't be so overprotective, right? It's only coming out of a place of concern, so you shouldn't be really upset with him. But sometimes it's a little bit too much. Like now, for example. You had just bumped into a table and you fell. But it wasn't a big deal. There was only a bruise, and it wasn't even going to last 3 days. It was going to go away soon. It was such a tiny bruise anyway. But over here he was panicking, looking at you like you had just gotten a slash in your chest. He made sure to ice it up, and he looked at you with such loving, concerned eyes that you couldn't help but laugh. Because seriously, you couldn't take it like the way he was. It was something that was so simple for you, but to him, it seemed like it was such a big deal. And that's when you kissed his forehead, telling him that it's seriously nothing, and that he shouldn't be worrying at all. He blushes. However, he does tell you that he will continue to worry about you for as long as he lives, since you were his girlfriend, and it was his duty to take care of you. How sweet of him. Heizou. Heizou's much more, how do I say this, logical when taking considerations. So it would have to be something pretty serious to get a reaction out of him. This time, you had cut yourself up while trying to cut tomatoes. Perhaps you really shouldn't try to, you know, cut things pretty quickly, like how those chefs do. You're just not one of them, and perhaps you'll never learn the trick of it. And when Heizou sees the blood, he freaks out a little bit, but tries to keep rational so he could help you. And that's when he ends up bandaging you up, looking at you with a look of frustration and fondness. Why, when will you be careful? I was just trying to cut it like... You weren't careful like that. I know you weren't. You were trying to cut it quickly, weren't you? I told you it's not easy. You huffed, pouting. Well, I was trying my best, and you can't know if you don't try. I guess you're right about that. Just be more careful next time. Or at least find someone to help you learn it. I still don't get your morbid interest in it. It's not morbid. Whatever you say, Wyan. Whatever you say. Albedo. Albedo would be a little bit frustrated. I mean, you've got into one too many accidents ever since you started working with him. It's probably because of the dangerous environment, or the chemicals involved too. But you weren't just careful enough for it. He was honestly considering relocating you to Mondstadt, not because he doesn't like you. He just worries a lot, and it's not like you make it easy for him. This time, you walked into him with a bruised leg and a dislocated ankle. From a cryoslam of all things. It wasn't that strong, but your combat abilities were not that good either. So it was totally believable for him. That's why he immediately did first aid and then went to Barbara, taking you with him. And the whole way, he had you picked up in his arms, looking at you as you can't help but just be fond, love you, even as you tire him out like this. There are some things you can't simply understand, but what he knows, and what will always be a constant in his life, is that he will love you no matter what. Venti. Venti didn't worry a lot. He was kind of used to people being injured, and being someone who took part in the cataclysm, and has seen the war that has happened 500 years ago, many things would not worry him. And for a good reason too. You can't blame the guy. But he does worry about you a lot, since you're a precious person to him. And even then, no matter how careless he is sometimes, 22 has his limits. So that's why when he knows you're pushing yourself too hard, and when he sees the injury on your hand, even as you try to keep training to be a Knight of Favonius, He just picks you up and takes you home, telling you that there's no more work for the rest of the week. You fight a lot over that, but he shuts you up with a kiss, telling you that if you don't go this week, then he won't go adventuring either, and he will make sure to spend it all with you, so at least that time won't be gone for a waste. And honestly, it's not like you can argue with that. Scaramouche. Scaramouche is the sweetest man alive. And I mean it. He's really sweet to you and considerate, but he has no clue of how to take care of someone else. So when you're injured, he's truly freaking out and asks you to be okay, even though you have no idea how to do that. You try to reassure him and tell him to just get you the first aid kit, which he does, and you tell him what to do and he follows through, worrying, and you can see that he's still trembling, even after it's all over. So you give him a hug, trying to assure him that you're okay. He doesn't believe it though, and gets you a doctor and a healer, just to make sure that everything's alright. He worries a lot, and even though you're kind of not used to this behavior, you can be upset with that. Scaramouche manages to make everything about him so endearing and so lovable, and you can't help but appreciate the help he's been to you. But you really want him to worry less, not because you care that much about the fact that he worries, as in, it's so annoying, but you just worry about him worrying. Does that make sense? Probably not. But you don't want him to drive himself tired or insane from all the worrying he does. So it's fair enough. And as compensation for all the worrying you've caused for him, you do give him many kisses and cuddles that day, which he takes gladly. Tighnari. Tighnari is more rational. He's been in the forest for a long time as a forest watcher, and he's seen people get into way too many messes, far worse than the ones that you get usually into. And Kole too. He has seen everything a man can see. So, when you come into him with a broken wrist, he only asks you what happened and chides you gently, but he does take care of it all the same, and he even kisses it from time to time, making sure that you go easy on it, and he does all the cooking and cleaning until you get better. He probably cooks anyway. His cooking is far better than yours. And honestly, you take that chance to be spoiled by him, because usually he doesn't like to coddle you so much. And you're really glad that this happened, even though it's a little bit painful. It's worth it.